everybody, and welcome to Tehachapi. So I decided not to do a 0-day video today of the town, and instead I am bringing to you another Thru-Hiker interview, one that I'm personally very excited about. Everyone, please welcome my friend Indra to the show.
Hello.
Indra, could you give us a little bit of an introduction? Where you're from, what you do in real life, do you have a trail name, anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'm from Oregon. I live at a place called Brighton Bush Hot Springs. It's an off-the-grid community about 2.5 hours away from Portland. And been living there for off and on for about 15 years. And my trail name is Trash Panda. And I think I got it all. Yeah.
Cool. Can you tell us how you got Trash Panda?
Yeah, I really like snacks, and Trash Panda is a slang for raccoon. And so I'm notorious for finding M&Ms on the trail and picking them up and eating them. So that's my trail name.
Very respectable and relatable.
Thank you.
So can you tell us what brought you out to the PCT?
Yeah, so I have done a number of thru hikes. I hiked the PCT in 2016. And a little bit of life transition, turned 55 this past year, and I thought that I was going to do all 3 trails at some point, but after hiking about 1,500 miles of the AT, what I realized is that the PCT is really where my heart is, and I live really close to that trail. So yeah, it's just an epic trail, and I kind of wanted to experience through new eyes, but also with the understanding that it's kind of like watching a movie over again, like you don't have to kind of guess what's going to happen in the next town or whatever. It's really just the trail that I love the most. So it brought me out to do it again.
Yeah, fair enough. Welcome back. I know that I've been really grateful for a lot of your insights, just being able to give me a little bit of information about what's ahead on the PCT, because obviously I'm not a West Coaster. I've never lived on the West Coast, so all brand new to me, and Indra's been a tremendous resource.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And just for a little bit of context too, Indra was in my kind of first hiking group on the PCT. We were in the same hotel in Julian. We'd met on the trail like the first week, but same hotel in Julian, started hanging out a bunch after Julian. And then she has dealt with a little bit of illness and injury, so has bopped around a little bit. So I have been really excited to be able to see her the past few days. It's kind of funny how the trail works. You don't see people, you see them again.
Yep.
So we wound up in the same place again. So I was like, I got to snag Indra for an interview because she's a really cool trail character.
Oh,
so
thanks.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. So you've hiked this trail already. How's it feeling? Does it feel like very similar? Like, is it kind of the same experience as last time? Are you seeing some differences in the trail, in yourself? How's that going?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest differences there's a few things, but one of the biggest things I think is really different than hiking in 2016, just as a collective, group, is that just the technology in hiking has changed so much. When I first started, ultralight backpacking was very new. There was very few companies that were actually doing ultralight backpacks. Now, I mean, it's rare to see someone without an ultralight backpack. There's a few out there, but most of us are kind of carrying that ultralight gear. Even like clothing is different, and like sun hoodies as an example were like something that didn't exist back then, and so like pretty much everybody wears those now. And yeah, it just feels there's a lot more dialed in feeling in this particular class. And yeah, I mean, when I hiked in 2016, Wild was sort of not even out yet. I think the book had been released that year. I didn't even know what Wild was in 2016. And really 2016 was kind of a boom in the hiking community. It was, I think they had like a couple thousand extra people on the trail in 2016, and it was a really big impact on towns and resources and things like that. They weren't quite ready,
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So this year it feels like, towns that were once sort of taxed by that initial number are sort of like, okay, this is sort of what we're doing now. And, so those are some of the differences. even the hiker community is quite different. It feels like there's, I don't want to say like a mainstream culture in backpacking now, but there is more of a mainstream culture in backpacking now as opposed to some of the characters and the weirdness that you would respond to as hiker trash in 16 was kind of prevalent around every bend. And there's still a little bit out there, but hiker trash meaning, a little bit more of a party scene, a little bit more like not so dialed in, sort of like a slow roll down the trail instead of, people that are just, again, just more really just dialed into what's happening here and more informed. So it's in those ways, those things are different.
Yeah, I hiked the AT in 2018, and I can relate to a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And for myself, I didn't know anything starting out in 2018. I've learned a ton. I've gotten lighter, all of that. So yeah, I definitely have noticed those same things. But for me, I was like, oh, this must be a difference between the AT and PCT. But it sounds like it's more of a time has gone by difference.
Yeah, I think it's a culture. I think it's a cultural difference. I mean, a decade is almost a decade. That's a lot of time that can go by. Even though it just seems like yesterday. It's that I hiked the trail. That is a long period of time that can go by. Culturally, and yeah. So there's some differences around that.
Cool. All right. Next question. What was your favorite section of the trail in 2016, and what are you most looking forward to this year?
Yeah, so I really, really liked from Trout Lake in Washington to the end the best. I had an experience in Trout Lake. I went to a place called the Trout Lake Abbey. I still think they're taking hikers, but back then they were way more active in the hiking community. It was right at my birthday, and it really... I met a Buddhist monk named Kozin who runs that particular facility, and it was just the most amazing experience. And then it kind of just opened me up to sort of the rest of the trail. But it's such a beautiful part of the trail, and at that point, your body is just doing the thing. It's like doing the machine. You can go up, you can go down. You're going to do going up. You're going to be going down. Your body can do it, and it's really just one of the most epic parts of the trail. As far as what I'm looking forward to, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the Sierras this year again. Sierras were kind of a tough section. I think they're always a tough section, but my partner's meeting me in Kennedy Meadows, and we've done a lot of hiking together, but he's not on trail with me this year. But we're meeting up in Kennedy Meadows, and we're hiking through the Desolation Boulders together. And that really is one of the more intense parts of the trail, but it's also, I think, really gorgeous. And I think there's something about doing it with somebody. I was alone at that point, hiking through that section with different people through different parts of that section. But I think just hiking with one person, my partner, who I've hiked many, many miles with, I think will be an amazing experience to share with. And kind of like, it can be pretty scary in the Sierras. So just like just having that one other person that can, always be there to have my back, and just have that revisiting of enjoying it more, instead of being so freaked out all the time, I think is sort of what I'm looking forward to on the trail this year.
Nice. That all sounds great. I've heard great things about the Desolation Wilderness.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite sections for sure. It's really beautiful. It's like a mild come down to the Sierras, and it's beautiful lakes and just things. I've never seen anything quite like something like Aloha Lake, and some of the things that you walk through there are very, very unique to anything that I've ever experienced on any trail. So it's and it's amazing. It's an amazing place. So
nice. Yeah. I'll be really excited for that.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Cool. Let's see. I love to ask people if they have a favorite piece of gear on the trail.
Yeah, this is sort of a shameless plug, but I'm going to plug my friend's backpacks, Superior Wilderness Designs. I met a Stitch and Good lady on the trail in 16. They were just starting their backpacking gear, and they are an amazing couple that makes really quality gear. So it's been my favorite backpack that I've ever had, and it's lightweight, but it's also holds weight, in a way, and it's always a comfort to put it on. That and something new to me this year is, again, the sun hoodie. I carry an OR sun hoodie. I've never hiked in a sun hoodie before. I didn't know if it would really work for me. And yeah, it's a piece of signature gear for sure for me.
Yeah, I love my sun hoodie too. I also have an OR one.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's outdoor research. Sorry for you guys that don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you have a favorite food on the trail? Could be a snack, could be a meal, anything.
Oh boy. Yeah, I really like, oh God, it's so weird to be promoting Frito-Lay, but Fritos are always good. You know, the junk food, Cheez-Its, you know, that kind of stuff is always good. I've been really into Sour Patch Kids this year, which is kind of gross, but it's amazing with the Fritos and the other things. You know, just a little combo there. You know, salty sweets, good stuff. You know, you can't go wrong. You can't eat like this at home, but yeah,
things get wild out on the trail.
It's wild. Yeah, so those are my favorite foods.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, this next question I feel like is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for maybe newbie hikers who want to come out and do something like this? They've never done anything like this before.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you just kind of have to take it day by day if this is something that you want to do. I think there's a lot of good, you know, ways to research gear, and sometimes people get, you know, it's good to kind of get caught up in that at the beginning. And, you know, making shifts and changes along the way is totally okay. I still do it. I've hiked thousands of miles, and sometimes you just get out here and things don't work. So you just kind of have to be in the moment, take it day by day. You know, don't worry so much about getting to the end, you know, just, you know, take it in pieces. And, you know, even, you know, I've hiked it before, but sometimes you don't remember things, and it's a different day, it's a different experience, it's a different time. So you just kind of have to take it day by day and really listen to your body. I mean, when you feel like you need to slow down, you slow down, and you'll know when to speed up. So, you know, and there's a few things here, but you know, sometimes the comparison mind can roll into play. I mean, as an older person hiking the trail, you know, it's impossible for me to hike some of the miles that other people are hiking. And, you know, but you have to just kind of go at your own pace and just really listen to what works best for you. I think, you know, if you're capable of walking, you're capable of doing the trail. If this is something that you want to do, it's a huge time commitment. So, you know, but you just have to take it day by day. Even in the planning process, you know, just like taking it in small increments. You know, I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to do this for, you know, and just taking it step by step, and just listening to yourself.
That's all fantastic advice.
Thanks.
You.
Yeah.
I get pulled into that comparison trap sometimes too, because I'm never going to be able to hike as fast as, you know, like a 20-something 6'3" guy.
Yeah. No, never.
But you gotta, like you said, listen to your own body and do, you know, your own pace. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for all that advice.
Yeah.
Let's see. If people want to follow your journey on the PCT, is there anywhere they can do that?
Sure thing. I do have an Instagram page. It's Divine Catalyst, and those words are stuck together. And yeah, I'm doing a daily vlog. I'm also on the Trek magazine as Indra Stabile, Stabile. And I don't put a lot of articles out. My blogging is a little bit different than some people. It's not kind of a day-to-day, but it's more like article driven, or, you know, focus driven on sort of like a concept or an idea. So not necessarily one, but the vlog is more kind of the day-to-day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I follow her on Instagram. She's super fun, so I highly recommend following it. I know you're not like a person who's like, I want to plug all my social media, but I think your Instagram's really fun. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share, a piece of advice, another piece of gear that you like, anything at all that you'd like to share before we say goodbye to the people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's see, you know, there's, you know, this idea of, you know, time and space, and, you know, when you're walking through this, you know, I fall into a lot of spiritual path. And so whether we believe in these kinds of things or not, whether we believe that, you know, getting on our boots every day and taking this walk, you know, from Mexico to Canada is a spiritual journey, it is transformative, and and it is what some might call like a yatra or spiritual walk. And whether we believe in those concepts or not, we will be transformed. No matter how far you go, even if it's just one night in nature, we can be transformed through nature. And I think it's really important to know that it takes some level of ego to get us out here. And what happens, I think, that's a little bit of a surprise to sometimes new hikers, is that it can sort of break you down, but that's really good for us, I think, especially in this time where there is so much conflict, angst, ideas about who we think we are, that can easily be broken down in these long distance trails. And I think that that's actually what's the most important for our culture right now, is to just break that down to the bare minimum. Like, what are our essentials, and what do we need, and what are we feeling, and what are we experiencing, and allowing that grief to come up, because it is inevitable that at some point on the trail that healing occurs. And so and sometimes it's tough. I mean, you're tired, you're dirty, you stink, there's all these things. You can be alone for periods of time, you're in pain, and there's also the glory to it as well. But it's just like, there is something about just like allowing ourselves to just break that down and understand that those things will be broken down over time. And we need that as a culture. We need that to be broken down, because, we can't do this alone. Like, there's this amazing community out here, not just of hikers, but people who support us, but strangers that support us. And then that it does take this like huge community of people for each of us to be able to get to the end, or wherever we end up in our journey. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dude, you're gonna make me emotional. Like, you always blow me away. You're just so insightful and thoughtful, and I'm just always amazed by you.
Thank you.
Like, I'm literally about to tear up. Like. Anyway, Indra, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Sharing all of your advice and insight and wisdom. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the viewers also appreciate it.
Yeah.
One last thing before we say goodbye, do you want to give a shout out to anybody, say hello to anybody back home?
Yeah. So big hi to my partner, Shoki Cleary, and all my community at Breitenbush, and of course my mom, Marianne, and all the people who are supporting me along the way. And I also want to shout out to my friends Charlie and Gail Nagel. Charlie just messaged me, just got out of triple bypass surgery, and he's doing okay. But anyway, he just sent me a picture of himself, and anyway, but he's doing good. So I want to shout out to those folks.
Oh, well, I hope he's feeling better soon.
Is.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So. Hello, everyone, and Indra, thanks again for being here.
Thanks so much.
And everybody out there, thanks for being here to watch. And don't forget to subscribe for more hiking, backpacking, and outdoor content. And I'll see y'all later.
Bye.